don't jump on people's heads. Just stay quiet for the rest of the training.
Okay.
And okay. All right. Your Brotherhood code means you shall never harm a friendly under any circumstance unless an official simulation is in progress. Follow me.
Also, I was told if I don't do this
Sector
training, I'll get banned for a week.
I mean, if you don't do this training, you won't be able to play. I mean, stay as a recruit, you won't.
Because yesterday I went out of this room like 15 million times, and I killed a bunch of US.
How's that possible? You can't really do that as a recruit. You don't have any weapons.
But he gave me a gun. There's a guy in white armor. But they dropped the pistol then.
Training or no?
I want to do the training.
Your mic's cutting out. Okay. Alright then. The defense sector headquarters, defense sector and DS only above are allowed inside. Defense sector have the final say in that room. Failure to listen to those rules. Follow me.
Okay.
We have our server rules. You can access our server rules by pressing F4. Click on the rules tab on the left hand side. It's going to open up a huge. Get familiar with those. It'll better enhance your experience here on the server. Join our TeamSpeak server. You're going to need that if you want to learn other branches or if you pass a certain rank within the army.
I don't like TeamSpeak whatsoever.
CS3. You don't use TeamSpeak?
Yeah, I use Discord.
So, but you'll...
What? You cut out. I don't know what you said.
Anyways, you'll need TeamSpeak if you want to move into other branches or promote past a certain rank, and that's our TeamSpeak IP whenever you start to use TeamSpeak, okay? Follow me.
Wait, so I can't go higher than a recruit?
I think on Insurgent Army you can't go past like a sergeant level rank without using TeamSpeak because it's an entry level branch. But I know for a fact you can't use any other, you can't go into any other branch without having TeamSpeak. Cool, these faces are familiar, so we should get through these pretty quick. Go ahead and stand on the wall and face me. Alright, so if I tell you left face, you'll turn 90 degrees over your left shoulder, face the left. So go ahead and left face. And just a quick trick, if you press F1 on your keyboard, it's going to toggle you in and out of third person to help with your alignment. When you're doing faces, you want to make sure that you're not off kilter like this. You want to make sure you're facing completely the same direction. Alright, if I say right face, you turn 90 degrees over your right shoulder, so go ahead and face the right. If I tell you about face, you face the opposite direction, over your right shoulder. You always turn over your right shoulder.
Those faces.
The time during a facing movement, the only time during facing movements that you turn over your left shoulder is when a left face is called. So for every face me. So if I tell you about face, you're going to face the opposite direction, but turn over your right shoulder. Right shoulder, that's your left.
Right shoulder, okay.
Just that. If I tell you front face, you're going to face the person that's calling the command. However, you're still going to turn over your right shoulder. So front face. Alright, let's go through it one more time. If you got it down, we'll move on. Front face. Right face. About face. left face. You got it. Let's move on. Frequency radios. So upon graduation, you're going to receive this. This is a frequency radio. When you have your frequency radio out, which you can pull out by pressing 5 on your keyboard, you can left click while the radio's out. It's going to open up your radio menu. You can drag the sliders on the menu or click on the black numbers to input a radio frequency number. Those numbers are typically given. Don't jump on heads. Do not jump on heads.
Sorry. It's just a habit.
I understand.
It's a habit.
Those frequency numbers are typically given to you during a brief before a mission. If you want to turn off the radio completely, just press Alt and Z at the same time on your keyboard, or if you just want to mute your microphone so you don't speak over the radio, press C. Over here we have our base codes. Base codes are going to appear in chat. They're going to appear in an orange text. It's going to be in an advert. So you'll see a chat will start with advert, somebody's username, just like that right there, that orange chat right there. Base codes can only be called by a JAG and above. Code green stands for a normal base operating state. Your weapons are on safety. Code yellow means there are threats near the U.S. base. Take your weapons off of safety. Start scanning for danger. Code red means the base. And the base. Proves that. So again, you must be a JAG or above to call those base codes. Right here is the meat and bones of pretty much role playing here on the server. I mean, yes,
I like
we
meat.
review the server rule, but good, awesome. This is your insurgent rules of engagement, or ROEs. You may freely fire at U.S. forces as long as they are not inside their base or rest on site, aka AOS zone. When role-playing as a civilian or unarmed, you must follow instructions from U.S. forces. If you claim to be unarmed, you may not pull a weapon on the individual you made the claim to for 2 minutes. Insurgents are arrest on site, past or on top of the pillars in front of the U.S. base. Insurgents are kill on site in the tall grass around the U.S. base, as well as the first hill to the left of the buffer zone. In leaving a KOS or AOS zone, you are still subject to being KOS or AOS. So if you run through the AOS zone in front of the U.S. base and, finally make it out, but U.S. finds you there, they can still arrest you for that. Explosives are not to be detonated in the U.S. AOS zone or near their base when a raid is not active. Insurgents may not open fire or kidnap the U.S. if directly in front of the buffer zone. Insurgents cannot loiter outside the U.S. base or the arrest on site zone when the U.S. base is on code yellow. Insurgents must be behind cover to draw a weapon, excluding knives and swords. Insurgent is outnumbered by the U.S. 2-to-1. Follow me, I'll show you an example of that.
There's a rating thing.
Right here, just stand right here for me. No, I'll show you this example. So if you stand right here, pretend you are a U.S. soldier. I'm the insurgent.
Yeah, kill you or something.
I can't, if we're outside like this, I can't just pull a weapon out like this and kill you. But what I can do is if you're standing right there and then I just manage to come into cover real quick to where you can't see me, and then I pull out a weapon like that, then I can kill you. Here are our raiding rules. Must be a tour or above to call a raid. Raids can last a maximum of 15 minutes and raiders may only have 1 life. There's a 15-minute cooldown on raids after a raid ends. Solo raids can only be called by a war criminal or war hero job. War criminal and war hero jobs are donator jobs. You have to purchase those on the store in order to access them. Here we have our enlisted ranks. Don't ask me to pronounce this at all because I do not know how to. However, when you graduate the program, you'll start off at the very bottom. You'll become an SB. From an SB, you'll work your way all the way up to BKOT, and from a BKOT, then no. Stop talking, please. Alright. And then from a BKOT, then you go to your officer ranks. You'll become DS and then work your way up to Al-Qaid, which is commander. Follow me. The insurgents have 3 sectors and multiple branches. The first sector is defense sector, which contains intel
User left your
operations.
channel.
Second sector is going to be your red unit, which contains Sector 13, Mustafa, 55th Guerrilla Combat, Surfru, and Ghost Operations. Your third sector is going to be attack sector, which contains Army, Tactics Division, and Special Forces. So when you graduate this program, you will be Insurgent Army, which means you fall under attack sector. This room here is Insurgent Branch Debrief. If you're told to go to Insurgent Branch Debrief, this is what they're referring to. Step inside. When you're inside the debrief room, certain rules apply. We call it debrief etiquette. PTS stands for permission to speak. In order to speak, you must ask for PTS. You can ask for PTS by opening up chat, typing /y space PTS, and whoever's hosting the debrief will either grant or deny your ability to speak. So when you're in a debrief, you come all the way down here, line up accordingly, nice and neat, facing the front. You do not move, do not jump, do not look around. You just face forward and do not talk. And that's the gist of a debrief. It's raining, follow me.
I think we're under
User
attack.
joined your channel.
Alright,
Hear
this is
gunshots.
Insurgent Kill House. Kill House is a timed obstacle course. Please stop speaking. I'm not going to tell you again. Kill House is a timed obstacle course. It has a bunch of targets in it. The goal of Kill House is to navigate through the course, killing all of the targets in the least amount of time as possible. A lot of different branches use this as a basis for their trials to test your ability to navigate with a firearm. Follow me. Alright, this is on this side of this area, this is an insurgent shooting range. If you're told to go to shooting range, this is the area they're referring to. On the opposite side is obstacle course, where that other tower is. If you're told to go to obstacle course, that's what they're referring to. Follow me. Alright, next we'll go over weaponry. You can use ammo crates to resupply your weapons ammunition. If you're not near a permanent ammo crate, you can buy your own
User
in the
joined
F4
your
menu.
channel.
Just hit F4, go to purchasable,
Hello
select
there.
an ammo.
You're a nerd.
Sound muted.
Selected. When you have your weapon out, you can press C. It's going to open up your customization menu. This allows you to change things such as your optics, your barrel attachments, stuff like that, different ammo types, to better enhance your experience with the weapon. You can press E and R at the same time while your weapon is out to toggle through your firing modes. A few of the basic firing modes are full auto, 3-round burst, semi-automatic, and safety.
Hey sir, I captured Goat. What do I do with Goat?
Alright, and in order to leave the base,
Where
you're
is
going to need
Dale?
what's called permission to leave, or PTL. In order to ask for PTL, you must open up chat, do /comms space PTL, and
Be quiet.
a DS or
Good.
above will grant you the ability to leave. No, not right now. Leaving the base without permission to leave will make
Excuse me.
you arrest on site. War criminals, people in donator jobs do not need to follow PTL rules at all. Me?
No, don't shoot Goat. I take Goat to jail. It's jail.
Alright, this gray circle here is called a capture point. You can see the name of the capture point at the top of the box. This is Capture Point Insurgent Sanctuary. And at the bottom of the box, show you who currently has a captured. It'll say one of two things, either Insurgent or United States. If it says United States, you can stand on the capture point and capture it. A progress bar will appear in the box, and you just stand on it until it's captured. However, you must note, if the U.S. forces see you on a capture point, they can open fire on you and kill you. There are 16 of these points on the map. There's one in each base, so there's one in the Insurgent base, one in the U.S. base, and then 10 outside of the bases. You must capture at least 6 out of the 14 in order to raid. What else is important? By standing on the capture points, you gain experience. When you gain experience, it helps level up your character. When you level up your character, each time you level up your character, you gain 1 skill point. Those skill points can be used to boost certain attributes such as your run speed, jump height, health, armor, and